Headline
3
news.
Super Bowl rings. Future so bright he wears shades off into these shows. 2-time Pro Bowler Mark Schlereth is joining us, who, by the way, so you've done some Panthers. You've done a lot of that NFC South. So tell me I'm nuts on this. Okay, so we got 3 A prospects coming into football.
Yeah.
We've got about 10 to 12 to 13 really good young quarterbacks. I count Garoppolo, Carr, same age. So, and with the deterioration of offensive lines, there is no, you can't argue this. That's the new normal. It's like security at the airport. It's going to be an hour. That's the new normal, right?
Right.
And so you got to have some athletic ability at quarterback. Now, Teddy does not provide that. That's my only knock on Teddy. But if you look at what Teddy Bridgewater provides, Carolina, to me, they want to move off Cam, but they don't know how to do it.
Right.
You've done that division. Am I nuts to say Bridgewater is a natural? Cam will go somewhere in the market. Bridgewater to Carolina.
Yeah, no, you know, I'm sitting over there and I heard that for the first time. And I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. Normally I like to come on here and bust you, but I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit, because remember when Bridgewater took the Minnesota Vikings to the playoffs, I believe, you know who was the offensive coordinator? Norv Turner. You know who the offensive coordinator is in Carolina?
Norv Turner.
Norv Turner. I mean, that does make a lot of sense, and they've had success with Teddy Bridgewater. There is no question about that in, Minnesota before he had that horrific knee injury. So
Chicago's not going to go for him because of his arm is limited. It's a windy, cold northern division. So the northern teams are like out on him. It's dome teams or southern teams, and I think it works. And I want to talk about this too with Mark Schlereth. So there are these teams that want to move off quarterbacks, but they don't have a solution. The Giants wanted to move off Eli for a year and a half. They didn't have a solution.
Correct.
Daniel Jones looks good in camp. Out. Cam Newton, they were hoping Kyle Allen's the solution. He's not. Teddy could be. So Phillip Rivers, they've got 2 good pass rushers in the Chargers.
Yeah.
2 good receivers, 2 good backs, 2 or 3 good corners.
Right.
They can move the second best at any of those and move up in the draft. They can't sell tickets. They're moving into a stadium. Phillip doesn't want to live in L.A. You call me crazy. To sell tickets in this town, they need juice at quarterback. I'd go after Tua. I'd move off Phillip Rivers. I know he's an old.
But I would look at Tua. I mean, the plan is like, is he injury prone? How's he going to come off this hip? We don't know. I would say this, and you talked about offensive line being an epidemic, and I travel around calling games. I talk to general managers all the time who say, how would you fix it? How would you fix the issues that are going on in the NFL right now? And a lot of it is because you have created a league in which you can't work on that skill.
That's right.
And that is like
that's an unsolvable problem.
Right. That is moving a man from point A to point B against his will is one of the greatest skills in football. And you have eliminated the opportunity to work on that skill. And then you wonder why you're no good up front. So there's a big issue there, and it's an epidemic. Not only that, think about the freak shows that you have to block on a week-to-week basis.
Guys are bigger, stronger, faster.
I mean, they're running 4.4 off the corner, and they're 260 pounds. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So this is my point. There are things in sports that are solvable.
Right.
Replay. You bring. You can. Right now, everybody's freaking out about the pass interference replay thing. Just change the rule and solve it. I think offensive line play is not solvable. College is doing the spread. So outside of an occasional Wisconsin offensive lineman, nobody's a road grader.
Right.
They don't exist. And the NFL is not going to add more practices and more hitting with offensive linemen, the unit that needs it. Bad O-line play is here. Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning. You can't win that. You can't have an old and athletic guy. You got to move at quarterback. I mean, Darnold, last 2 weeks, is running for his life, and they're winning, but it's like Phillip Rivers has 6 picks in those games.
Right. You know what's interesting about that? You go statistically, show me the top 5 teams as far as run percentage is concerned. The percentage of times they run the football. Because you can fix O-line issues. This is where I would disagree with you. You can fix O-line issues if you have a coach that understands O-line problems, right? You have to be intelligent enough to know what the issues are so that you can address the issues. But if you are a team that just wants to spread you out and throw it, every single time. You show me the teams that have the top percentage.
San Francisco.
Top running percentage. San Francisco. You've got
Saints. The Saints.
I mean, you've got New England. You've got, the five top teams. You look at the bottom teams. I guarantee you, the Jets, Miami. I know Atlanta's number one. They're 3-7 right now. They're number one as far as percentage. They throw it 70% of the time, 69.something% of the time. You expose your issues up front when you play the game that way. So those issues, like, you're not all of a sudden going to be more athletic there, or all of a sudden you're going to find road graders in college. What you have to do is understand how to call plays, how to put a game plan together that protects those guys and yet is still dynamic. And the league is shifting. It is. There's this cyclical change that people are looking at and going, we better start to learn how to dictate in situational football when we have to dictate in the running game. Not popping a draw on 3rd and 6 for 30 yards and going, look, let's celebrate. We know how to run the ball. No, you don't. You got to be able to run it down when you can. When 3rd down and 2, you better know how to run the ball. 8-man fronts, 9-man fronts, that's all you see when you get in the red zone. You damn well better understand how to run the ball in those situations. And if you don't, you're not a very good football team.
When I think of a running team, I think of Baltimore, New England, Seattle.
Yeah.
The Patriots.
Seattle, by the way, one of those top 5 teams as far as rush percentage
And when
is
I
concerned.
think of a team that can't run, I think of Kansas City. Will address the Chiefs and their issues.
All right.
I think they become way too Mahomes-centric. Plus your thoughts on the Raiders and the biggest regular season game, Cowboys-Patriots, maybe in 2 years. It is going to get a monster number. We'll have that coming up with Mark Schlereth. Folks, when's the last time you went on a long drive and said, man, I'm glad in this winter weather I saved money on my wiper blades? I know, that never happens. It shouldn't. Now driving in bad weather doesn't have to be a headache. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades. Michelin just put their new wiper blades to the test. 16,000-mile drive, Alaska to Argentina. And the blades took all of it. Quad-Tech 4-layered coated silicone, repels water, snow, and ice, lasts 2 times longer than other blades. The Michelin Endurance XD silicone wiper blades, available only at Walmart. Schlereth is from Alaska, so he's driven in poor weather and had caribou attacking his SUV. Those Michelin wipers, a caribou comes up and tries to eat the windshield, pow, just wipes him right into the river.
Right into the river.
Right in whatever.
Right into the Kuskokwim River, right off the Akiachuk area.
Mark Schlereth, more next.